Hi there. Welcome to our abundant series, Abundant Living. Today I'm going to talk about what it means to be in the flow. Okay, this is one of the 10 rules for prosperity from the book Dennis Merritt Jones. I'm just going to even show you the book because it's a really good book. It's The Art of Abundance. Boop. Okay, so today this is a re-recording of a Sunday lesson. However, on Sunday, that one Sunday we did this, let me scoot up here. The one Sunday we did it, our live stream just didn't work out. So I don't know what happened with that, but today's for part 5 of the rules for abundance. Now, abundance, what we want to know about abundance is that abundance has to do with a consciousness. Abundance has to do with our way of thinking. And then prosperity is then what demonstrates in our life according to our way of thinking. All right, so abundance is a mindset. Abundance is a consciousness that we think and we act from. Now, in part 1, rule number 1, it was one with life. And this is about understanding that we are connected with all of life. And so when we're connected with all of life, it means that all of life rushes to support us at all times. Life likes to make things happen together. So there are always things working together for our good. So this is why things come together for our good. Our second rule was that we live in an expanding universe. That as the universe creates in the universal, we create in our own little universe. But the universe continues to create through all of its creations. This is why a mighty oak tree drops probably thousands of acorns, not just one. Life is expanding through the mighty oak tree. Well, life expands through us, through our way of thinking and acting. Rule 3 is to be accountable for our consciousness. This is a tough one. We have to be the one to decide, to notice if we've gone into victim thinking so that we can do something about it, right? We're the only ones that can do anything about it. So this is where we want to know and remember, we experience life through a way of thinking and acting. Okay, so what am I thinking, right? And how am I acting out on it? Well, this leads us right into the 4th rule, which is be focused. Whatever we're focusing on, we're pouring our energy and attention into, we'll experience more of that. So we want to know what are we influenced by right now? Right? Are we focusing on social media and how we want to set somebody straight? Or are we focusing on looking for ways to feel better? Are we looking for things that make us happy, right? And know that we will find them. Today we go into rule 5, which is be in the flow. Be in the flow. This is about the law of circulation. Because life is about circulation. Things just keep moving, okay? Things keep moving. Our bodies are always in motion. Our lungs we breathe in air and then we breathe out carbon dioxide or monoxide, I don't remember. And even life all around us, trees, they grow their leaves and then the leaves dry and fall. And then the tree seems dormant for a little while. And then all of a sudden there's brand new life growing on this tree, right? Everything just keeps going. There's a flow to everything. There's a flow to our seasons. And there's a flow to the season of our life. Everything is in motion. Okay, so here's the premise. I'm going to read this is from the book. Being in the flow denotes the degree to which we consciously allow energy to pass through our lives. It's a matter of give and take, and a fluent life is one that is operating within the law of circulation, inviting abundance to flow in and out of our lives in intentional and measurable ways. So it's a matter of give and take. That's what this flow of the universe is about. The flow of the universe, the flow of life. We give, right? So we let go of something. And then somebody receives what we just gave, right? They claimed it. Or somebody gave to us and we received it. So we can't be givers if we don't have a receiver, and we can't be a receiver if we don't have a giver. But it's not just about keeping things in motion. We are giving to create the space for something new to flow into our life. So this is why the first 4 rules of prosperity are so important, right? Because we're one with life. That means everything is available that we could possibly need, but we're giving and receiving to keep this flow of the all going through our life. We live in an expanding universe. Okay, so the flow comes through us and we send it out in greater amounts. We have to be accountable for our consciousness. This is where we're going to notice if we're in resistance. And if we're in resistance, it may be hard to give something. If we're in resistance, it may be tough to receive, right? You know, when we're in resistance and we're not trusting in the flow of the universe, it can be really hard to ask for help, can't it? Right? Okay, so we want to be able to give and receive. So we're focusing. We focus on something, right? We focus on what is it that we want to create in our lives. So this flow of circulation, it's a rhythm, right? Rhythm of giving and receiving. Now, this is where I like to talk about love. Big cosmic love. Cosmic love is the desire of Source to continue to create through its creations, right? It's this cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. Okay, so we've got this, and it's in the flow of life. Love, the big cosmic force, wants to give to us, right? So that we can send it out into the world. We also have working within our lives, besides this power of big cosmic love, we have something that's called grace. Now, grace is the givingness of spirit, anything that you could possibly need. Okay, anything that you could need so that you can create. Okay, so we have love and we have grace. So you know what this means is that Source is seeking to create through us. Source is seeking to create greater things. So it's giving us all that we need to do that. Okay, this is the idea of abundance. The abundance consciousness is more than enough. More than enough. But we still have to choose, right? If our consciousness is on lack and limitation and not enough, no matter what Source is giving us, no matter what love is giving us, no matter what grace is giving us, if our consciousness is on lack and not enough, that will be our experience. Okay, so this is from the book of Matthew, chapter 4, verse 24-25. By your standards of measure, it shall be measured to you, and more shall be given besides. Right? This is because we live in an expanding universe, and more shall be given besides. For whoever has, to him more shall be given, and whoever does not have, even what he has, shall be taken away from him. You know, when I first heard this verse, I always thought, well, that's just so mean. That's so mean, right? What about people who struggle? They should be given stuff, right? But see, it's about our consciousness. When we're struggling, we're in the consciousness of not enough. And so that's going to continue to be our experience. In fact, we'll be given more and more and more of that, even more what we happen to be experiencing right now. We're going to be given even more. Okay, so by our standards, right, this is how we are given. It will be measured to us. So what are our standards? What's our consciousness, right? Are we in more than enough or not enough? And that's what we're giving. In fact, that's what we're giving threefold, right? Because we're in an expanding universe, right? What we give, right, we receive back threefold. Okay, so what if we're giving gratefulness? What if we're giving appreciation and faith and grace? We'll receive even more of that back to experience, right? More things to be grateful for, more things to appreciate. Okay, even greater faith to do greater things. But what if our consciousness is on resentment, and obligation and fear, right? We'll have more things happen in our lives where we can experience resentment and obligation and fear. So if we're giving something away, the universe has to fill that spot, right? So what is it being filled with, right? The universe, it has to give us the same vibe of whatever it is that we're giving out, right? More to appreciate or more to be frustrated about. Okay, so this is from the book, The Problem. What keeps us from enjoying greater affluence in our lives is fear, because fear causes constriction. Fear crimps the conduit of consciousness through which abundance flows, and the mystery of the paradox, the law of circulation, goes unexplored and misunderstood. So we want to explore this paradox, right? That the law of circulation really is about letting go, and then we receive more. Okay, now going with the flow, again, we want to remember love, right? Spirit, source, seeking to continue creating through its creations. And we want to think about grace, the givingness of spirit. Anything we need is given to us, is available to us. So when we go with the flow, we're going with the flow. Where we start is we're accepting right where we are. Okay, we're accepting what is. And then we can keep following the creative impulse. Okay, like what's the next thing that we can do? And if we are feeling that spirit source giving itself to us, anything we could possibly need, and desiring to create through us, we create a creative impulse. And then we have that impulse to follow. We can follow that vibe. Right? So we just want to remember the first four rules, that we are one with life. So all of life works in our favor. We live in an expanding universe. Be accountable for our consciousness. Where is our focus right now? On not enough or more than enough? And then be focused. Like, we got to figure out what we're focused on. We've got to notice that. Now, what happens when we are in the flow of giving and receiving? We stir up the gifts of life. We stir it up. We stir up the gifts of spirit, right? Our talents, the things we love to do, the things we love to give. We're stirring all that up. Okay, so here we are. The secret of life is a paradox, that we receive more than we could ever imagine by being conscious, compassionate, generous givers. Right? More. We receive more than what we ever can imagine. So we can't cling to where we are right now out of fear. We can't be givers if we aren't willing to let go of things, right? What if you want to hand something over to the higher forces? Okay, what if there's an obstacle in your life and you want to hand it over, but you can't seem to let go? Right? Whether it's if you want to create money or peace or love or healing in your life, if you're thinking, well, I want to surrender this, I want to hand this over to God, but it has to happen this way, just like this, blah, 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 right? Right? If we want it, if we need it to happen a certain way or else forget it, we're not surrendering anything. We're not giving. We're not actually giving anything. We have to be able to give it. Okay, now think about this. If what you were doing now was already working, whatever you wanted to create would have already been created, right? So we have to give. We have to hand it over. Here's the principle behind this. When we impede the flow, we block the principle of abundance from manifesting in its many forms, right? More ways than we could ever imagine. Creating an abundant lifestyle means consistently participating in the dynamic exchange of energy. One of the primary ways we impede the flow is by, drum roll, wish I could give you a drum roll, by not using what we have. This is from the book, Dennis Merritt Jones. We impede the flow of abundance by not using what we have. Right? By not doing our best with what we've already got. That's one of the 4 agreements. Okay? Ernest Holmes says this: Prosperity is the outpicturing of substance in our affairs. We must receive, utilize, and extend the gift. So we got to receive it, and then we utilize it. We got to use it. So it's not just giving and receiving, right? It is doing our best with what we've got. Wallace Wattles, he tells a wonderful story in this essay, How to Get Anything You Want, or something like that. It goes like this, basically. I'll be paraphrasing. A man wanted to own a department store, but he didn't have enough money to buy the department store. So instead of saying, well, gee, if I can't just own my department store, then forget it. What he did was he started where he was, right? He started with the money he had, and he used it to the best way possible. He bought, I think, a newspaper stand. All right. And then, so he utilized what he already had, but he also showed up in every area of his life. And so he showed up to do his best with his family, with his friends, with all of his relationships. He utilized, right, his body to its best. So he took good care of his body, right? He treated all of his customers like they were all like spending millions of dollars with him, even though they were just buying a newspaper. Eventually, he saved up the money and did the next biggest thing, okay? But we can't just focus on doing one thing in our life, well, I got to make money, and neglect all the other areas of our life, right? Our spirit needs to be fed. Our body needs to be taken care of. Our relationships need to be nurtured. And we want to do our business or our work and do it in a way that we're doing our best, we're loving what we're doing, and we're appreciating the fact that we have that work. Okay, so here's the practice now. This is also from the book. The law of circulation is an omnipresent principle. So that just means it's everywhere present. We cannot get away from it. We're always in the law of circulation, right? Life is always in a flow, but we either try to push against it or we go with it. Okay, so the law of circulation is an omnipresent principle. To mindfully witness and personalize the flow in every area of our lives is a powerful way to deepen our trust in this law. So we want to consider the ways that we already notice the law of circulation. You inhale oxygen, and then you don't just exhale it again, right? Your body, your lungs take that oxygen, and there's a whole biological process that gets fired up, right? The oxygen goes through our lungs, it actually goes into our bloodstream. And there's a whole process of things happening. So we're being fed by oxygen. Okay, so, and then we expel it, what we didn't use, we expel the waste, but it doesn't end there. We have plant life on our beautiful planet that actually can do something with the waste that we exhale, right? So everything is somehow utilized. We just don't know all the ways. Okay, so think about your car. You fill up your car, you fill up the gas tank, and then it does everything for you, right? It takes you places. You can run your air conditioner, play your radio, sit in comfort if it's raining, or if it's too hot outside, you fire up your air conditioner, right? And that all happens because you gave it gas. You filled up his gas tank. And then that gas caused other things to function in the car. All right, so we're training our mind. What we're doing now is we're training our mind. We're reminding ourselves, okay, I'm one with all of life, so all of life has to support me. I just need to get with the program here, right? I'll remember I live in an expanding universe, right? As I send out gratitude, more than enough gratitude comes back to me. I have even more to be grateful for. Okay, but also Source is creating through me, for me, as me. And so I create like even more abundance. Okay, just like one kernel of corn, you can plant one kernel of corn, and within just a few generations of planting, you'll have a billion kernels of corn. All right. And then rule 3 is to be accountable for our consciousness. We just got to show up for this process. That's all. Just show up for the process. Pay attention. What are you focused on? You'll know if it's serving you or not, because it will either feel great or it'll feel terrible, right? And then we want to be focused on something, focused on the good we want to create, focusing on the next experience that we want to have. And this is what gives us this training our mind. It gives us a new way to show up in our lives. So we start creating new experiences, right? We're not on autopilot anymore, right? We want to get off autopilot, right? If we're on autopilot, we're stuck in the past or we're stuck in the future and we're not receiving and utilizing and giving out again. We can only do that when we're present, because when we're present, we're not running some kind of program. When we're on autopilot, we're running a program, okay? And that program may not even serve us, okay? Probably isn't. Here's the payoff. This is from the book. The law of circulation is manifesting in your life today as either a cornucopia of more than enough or a vortex of not enough, depending on how freely energy flows through you. There are an infinite number of ways the principle of abundance can be channeled through you. It's empowering to remember that you are the gatekeeper who directs this flow. All right? Thank you, Dennis Merritt Jones, for that juicy little tidbit, right? For us to remember that we are the gatekeepers who direct this flow of abundance in our life. Okay, so here's our call to action. We'll start with our affirmation. I'm going to say it and then we can say it again. I let go and I let my good expand through me. I let go and I let my good expand through me. Now here's your invitation. I'm going to invite you to try this out. There really is only just one thing standing in the way of the consciousness of more than enough. Okay, only one thing standing in the way, and that's us, right? Yeah, that's us. It's me. Hey, I'm the problem. It's me. Okay, I'll just say that, right? What's standing in our way is our worries, our anxieties, our fears, our beliefs, our perceived limitations, this idea that we're not good enough or we're not capable, okay? More than enough, right? The consciousness of more than enough is the consciousness that allows us to enjoy the gifts of life, utilize them, and pass them on, okay? And pass them on. Now I talk about cosmic love, right? Big love. This big love is bigger than anything in its way. And our way is made clear for us when we walk in love. Okay, when we give love, we see God as everywhere present. When we give love, we see God present in every person and every condition. And no matter where it is that we want to go, no matter what it is that we want to create, no matter what it is that we need to heal or want to heal, God is already there. God is already there. Okay, so this is giving love. We receive love when we get ideas, when we get inspiration. That's receiving love. And then we act as if God is everywhere present. We go ahead and take that action. We act in faith. And this is how we utilize this gift of the inspiration or the idea that was just given to us. We act in faith and we go ahead and do that next best thing. And this is how we are creating heaven on earth. So until next time, remember, you are divinely designed to be doing all of this stuff, right? It's already within you. There's a divine program within you. And remember, big love is seeking to create through you anything you could desire, anything that inspires you. Big love, cosmic love, is seeking to create that through you. That's why you receive that inspiration. And the gift of grace giving you anything you could possibly need to make it so. In everything you do, you are blessed. And so it is. So it is. We'll see you next time.